Hi guys, I am Uchagwa and I am back with Maths XYZ, and in this lesson we will be dealing with finding an angle of an inclination and also using the angle of inclination to find an angle between two straight lines. So for this one we have two questions, of which the first one we have to find an angle of inclination, and the second one is to find the angle between two straight lines using an angle of inclination. Remember, to find an angle of inclination we use an equation tan of theta. It's equals to m, of which m is the gradient and our theta is the angle of inclination. And the gradient that we have, if we have a negative gradient, that means that the angle of inclination will be measured clockwise. But then to make it an anti-clockwise, we have to add 180 to the final answer. The angle of inclination, it has a value between 0 degrees and 180, and it's always measured from the x-axis anti-clockwise. Alright, let's look at the first question, of which we have a straight line with an equation y is equals to negative 2x plus 2. And we know the standard equation of a straight line is y is equals to mx plus c. And for this one, we already have our gradient, which is equals to negative 2. Then to find the angle of inclination, remember, if it's a negative gradient, that means that our angle will be measured clockwise. But then if maybe we wanted to find this angle here, let me just use a blue marker. For example, if we were to find the angle of inclination measured anti-clockwise, then that would be this angle here. Remember, it's measured from the positive x-axis to the straight line. Then to find this one, we have to use the angle that we're going to find using the negative gradient plus 180. Alright, let's do this question and you will see how that will come out. Alright guys, then tan theta for this case is equals to negative 2, which is the gradient. And to find theta, it will be tan of negative 1 is to negative 2 then. And using a Casio calculator, alright guys, let me just quickly find a calculator. Alright, to find the angle of theta there, you have to press shift, tan, and then negative 2. If you were using a Casio calculator like mine, you press shift, tan, negative 2, of which negative 2 is the gradient. Then here I got negative 63,43. For this case, we have already answered the question, of course they wanted us to find this angle, which is the angle. If it's negative, then that means that the angle has been measured clockwise. The negative is just telling us that the angle is actually in the opposite direction. Then here we have 63,43. I won't write the negative because we can already see that the angle is actually in the clockwise direction. Alright, but then what if we were asked to find the angle of inclination? Because the angle of inclination is actually measured from the positive x-axis anti-clockwise. This angle here is actually clockwise. But to make it anti-clockwise, what do? We have to add 180 to the final answer that we have. So plus 180 degrees to this one, it will actually give us 106,57. Sorry guys, 57. So this angle here is actually 116,57 degrees. This is the true angle of inclination. For if we were asked to find the angle of inclination, it's just that for this case we were asked to find this angle, which is the angle measured clockwise. Alright guys, I hope you understood this example. Let's move to the second example, of which in this example here we have two straight line, which is G, and straight line Y. And then we are asked to find the angle of this angle here, which is the angle between straight line of G and also the straight line of Y. We are given the equation of the two straight lines, which is 1/2x plus 1 for G and 2x plus 1 for Y straight line. Alright guys, from this we already have the gradient. Then to find the value of that angle, what we do here is to for example, let me just take out this one. Is G is equals to 1/2x plus 1. Then let me just extend x-axis, another x-axis is there. Then remember the angle of inclination is measured from the positive x-axis. Then here it will be the angle of inclination of G. This is the angle of inclination of G. And also another one measured anti-clockwise, it will be the angle of inclination of Y. Because this is Y here, from the positive x-axis anti-clockwise to the graph of Y, it will give us the angle of inclination of Y. Then that means that this angle, which is the angle phi, is equals to the angle of inclination of Y minus the angle of inclination of G. Alright? Does it make sense, guys, that you just extend this line, have another y-axis which is there because it's parallel to our original x-axis, and from there we just draw the angle of inclination, which is this one is for the graph of Y, and this one is for the graph of G. And from there, subtracting the two, it will actually give us this angle here. Then how do we find this angle of inclination? We have gradient of both graphs, so what we do is to just equate the gradient. So that will be, to find the angle of inclination of Y, tan of sigma of theta y is equals to theta y, that will be equals to 2. Then that means that theta y is equals to tan of -1 into 2. Remember, if you are using a casual calculator like mine, what you have to do, you have to press shift and then a tan and 2 then. That will give you 63,43. And then the second one to find is tan of G, of theta G, which is the angle of inclination of straight line G. Then that will be, it's equals to 1/2. Then theta G, it will be, remember you press shift, tan, and 1/2. 1/2, guys. That will be, sorry guys, shift, tan, 1/2. That will be 26,57. Then here we have 26,57 and also 63,43. Then to find the angle of this angle here, we just have to subtract the 2 and then we'll have the angle of phi. Then that means that we have to subtract 63,43 minus 26,57. That, sorry guys, 63,43 minus 26,57, that will be 36,86. Then the angle that we were looking for is actually 36,86 degrees. Alright guys, I hope you understood this lesson as well. What you have to do all the time, guys, is always to know that you can always have the new y-axis, you can always have the new x-axis, and you just have to manipulate things around when you are doing it. There's no rules, there's just those proper equations that we know that those are the standard equation, but you can always change things around to see if you can, anything that can get you to the final answer. Alright, for this one we just have the new x-axis, and for this one we draw, we draw our angle of inclination of the two straight lines, and after that we saw that this angle is actually the difference between the two angle of inclination, and that's what we did. We have the gradient already, we subtract the two angle of inclination and we have the angle of phi. And for this one as well, what we did, guys, is to know that this angle here is actually when we are using the negative gradient, we'll get the angle which is negative, which is just showing us that it's actually an angle measured in the opposite direction, negative. If it's negative, then that means that it's actually in the direction that we are not looking for, like a clockwise direction. But to make it anti-clockwise, we add 180 and that gives us 116. That's what the question was looking for. It was actually looking for this one. But then, just to show you guys how to do it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson as well, guys. If you have any question or comment, please drop it in the comment note and we'll have a follow-up on it. Please don't forget to subscribe to Maths XYZ on YouTube so that you can get daily notification when we upload videos. Thank you.